The people of 23 communities in Orhionwon local government of Edo State on Monday protested in Benin. They urged Governor Godwin Obaseki to relocate a private oil palm investor, Saru, from Orhionigbe Forest Reserve, which they described as their farmland and their source of sustenance. The protesters carried placards with inscriptions such as, "Mr. Obaseki, we voted for you. Don't do us like this. Our land is only source of livelihood. Orhionwon Council does not have land for oil palm investor. And we are peace-loving people." The demonstrators under the aegis of Orhionwon South Head Farmers Multipurpose Cooperative Society, Orhionigbe Forest Reserve said leasing their farmland to Saru oil palm investor or any other investor would lead to hunger and suffering, stressing that the area's unemployed graduates had to engage in farming. Speaking in Benin, on behalf of the protesters, Larry Enobakari said the area's Orhionigbe Forest Reserve was donated by their forefathers, while other communities refused to take land donation as forest reserves. He said, "The Orhionigbe Forest Reserve is our only means of livelihood. Where the farm is to sustain our families, many youth from Orhionwon local government area who are not interested in crimes engage in farming at the forest reserve as there are no employment opportunities after graduation. Windows and widowers farm at Orhionigbe Forest Reserve for survival. Herdsmen are killing our people from one side of the farmland, while people from Delta State are encroaching from the other side of the forest reserve. The only area left for us for farming is not enough for us. We are begging Governor Godwin Obaseki to relocate Saru or any other oil palm investor to another local government with virgin land. Orhionwon local government does not have such land. The governor should not keep us in hunger and starvation." The spokesman for the protesters said part of the Orhionigbe Forest Reserve was earlier handed over to Presco oil palm investor, with the indigenes currently suffering, which should not be extended to their 23 communities. He said, Obaseki was voted for on September 19th last year for a second term because of the trust they had in him and urged him to protect their interests. Enobakari drew Edo government's attention to the deplorable state of roads in Orhionwon local government, lack of electricity at the council's headquarters in Abodu, the moving of the National Youth Service Corps NYSC's orientation camp from Abodu to Okada, and the recent attempt to move the School of Forestry Management at Sakpogba in Orhionwon local government area to Fuga in Esako Central Council. Governor Godwin Obaseki is being urged here by the people of these communities in Orhionwon local government area of Edo State as they protested in Benin City. They are urging the governor to please relocate Saru, a private oil palm investor, that he should relocate it from Orhionigbe Forest Reserve, as they describe this farmland as their source of sustenance, the only source of sustenance. And they've put before the governor that that is the only source of their income, that many graduates in the community who have decided not to turn to crime, who have decided not to give in to trouble the community, because we know crime troubles the community. It takes away peace. It takes away peace. So those youth who've decided not to toe that path, not to go that line, that is the only way they sustain themselves. This one is quite interesting because one would think that this Saru, the private oil palm investor, it would be something that will benefit the whole community, because we know if an investment is coming into a community, it creates room for even employment. But most probably they are seeing it from a different angle. They want the farmland to themselves so that they can cultivate it themselves. So it's like running their own business rather than the Saru coming in and the Saru the Saru determining or restricting the number of employment they can get, restricting what they can get. Well, I don't know if Governor Godwin Obaseki is going to yield to this. They've given, they tried to justify the reason behind it, that this land was handed over to them by their forefathers, and they've suffered a lot. That from herdsmen, even in this forest reserve, Fulani herdsmen are still troubling. It's not as though they are free from Fulani herdsmen. And on the other part, that is one hand. On the other part, people from Delta have been encroaching into the land. And the only place left that is what they've been using for farming to sustain themselves and their families in this community. And Governor Godwin Obaseki has decided to place Saru, a private oil palm investor, in this community. With this, their protest, the protest was carrying several cards. Mr. Obaseki, we voted for you. These are the same people that voted for Obaseki, so it wasn't like they were against him. They are his supporters as well, so they are doing this in a very polite way. With the placards they carried, we could see that the words were words that were not too harsh. I'll put it that way. Mr. Obaseki, we voted for you. Don't do us like this. Don't treat us like this. Our land is our only source of livelihood. Orhionwon Council does not have land for oil palm investor. We are peace-loving people. So we could see the way they are approaching the governor. They are not coming by force. So these are still Obaseki's people. They are people who see Obaseki as the talk and do governor. We know that is the name they gave to Governor Godwin Obaseki days leading to the governorship election. When after they saw his developmental stride. At the same time, they are also calling on him that this oil palm that you are bringing, it's not something we need in our land. There are other areas where you need to focus on. So they drew his attention to other places, roads that are bad, that are in bad condition, that he needs to fix those roads, that he should look into those areas and see how he can turn those areas around and leave this farmland for them. This is the one that they used to sustain themselves and their families. But for Governor Godwin Obaseki, we know he's on a fast lane. His tenure is coming to an end. He made a lot of promises to the people of Edo State, and this time around, he doesn't really have any excuse. The first tenure was like the battle, the rift between him and former national chairman. He brought a lot of distraction to his administration. Right now, there's nothing of such, so he really doesn't have any excuse of fulfilling his mandate, which is making Edo State great again. So this is part of his mandate, making Edo State great again, trying to bring a lot of investment. But the people are kicking against this right now. Well, my people, let's hear your own take down below in the comment section. Thank you once again for staying tuned. Please don't forget to like, share, and to subscribe. Till I come your way again on more updates. Bye.